look at 22 plus million Americans who have lost their jobs over the last 4 weeks, filed unemployment claims, better than 5.25 million in the latest period. And it's a trend that has not been, the working man and woman's friend. Steve Moore, former economic advisor to the President of the United States, very close confidant to him, widely respected writer on all things financial. Steve, the longer this goes on, whether it's medically necessary or not, I mean, the economic pain is palpable and real. So with states, a number of them now delaying these, changing or revising these at-home rules, do you worry numbers like that, claims like that get worse?
Yeah, I do. I told the president exactly that in our first meeting of the new economic task force that he's appointed. And I think he, more than anybody in the White House, wants to get this economy up and running. And that was before we saw these horrific numbers today that show 22 million people unemployed. That's something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. And so I think that has maybe created a little bit of a tipping point here. I think Americans are starting to see the kind of carnage that is created when you shut down a $20 trillion economy. I think you're going to start to see some states as early as next week, Neil, starting to open, states like Arizona, states like Nebraska, that are going to say, hey, we can do this in a smart way and keep our citizens safe and not put them all on unemployment lines.
Do you worry, though, that this pretty much kicks in the can the notion of a V-shaped recovery, though, that with so many states on staggered schedules, likely, to your point, that we're not all going to ride like a rocket on this back?
No, it's going to be a slow rolling kind of wave where you're going to start to see these red states, frankly, the more Republican states. I just listened to your discussion with Governor Walker. Wisconsin may be a lagging state, and Michigan. By the way, your mayor there in New York is now saying that New York City might not open up until after the 4th of July. I mean, that's crazy. By the way, you do that, New York City is no longer going to be the financial center of the country. It's going to move somewhere else, and Times Square may as well. So you're going to see it, but there's probably no way around that, Neil, because we do believe in federalism. The president said that yesterday, that this has to be led by the states. I think he'll reiterate that later today when he has his press conference. The White House is going to provide the guidance. The states are going to make the decisions. But I'm with you. I think if these states across the country, like California and New York and Illinois, which are big, important states economically, if they don't open up, it's going to really slow down the rapid kind of expansion, that V-shaped recovery that we all want to see.
But what about if there's a spike in cases? No matter how you stagger this or try to get back, I mean, there's probably going to be a spike of some sort in cases, right? How do you balance that?
That's the decision that the president has to make. It's got to be one of the hardest decisions any president has made in modern times. You want to keep the American people as safe as possible. As the vice president and the president have said, saving lives comes first. But, when you see 22 million people in unemployment lines and you see those pictures of what's happening in Pittsburgh with people standing in line a mile long to get for the food banks, people are really suffering out there. And the left tries to make this as lives versus the economy, but you have to do both. We don't have a society if we don't have an economy that is producing things like goods and services. And I do think that finally the American people are starting to say, wait a minute, yes, we want to remain safe. Yes, we want to remain healthy. But there's got to be a way to do this, keeping people safe and healthy, but getting people back on the job and these businesses up and running. Because if we don't, this goes back to your initial question to me, Neil, what happens if we don't open up the economy soon? And if we don't open the economy till the middle of June, as sort of the governor of Virginia is saying, you can pretty much wipe out the entire year of 2020, and it's going to be a brutal recovery. I think a lot of Americans think, oh, as soon as this is over, we'll just go outside and we'll go back to our jobs and everything will be back to normal. No, it's going to take a number of months to get back anywhere near normalcy.
We shall see. Steve Moore, thank you very, very much.